Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer Roberts and this is True Divine 44, my new channel. So I said I'd be building up this channel with general readings for each sign month by month. I also said I would play around with some different formats of whatever I was led to see what would work for other people and see what I enjoyed doing also. So I was thinking about doing some readings for just relations, not relations that are just lovers, just marriage, just singles, just the relations that we have with everybody around us. So if these messages resonate with you, then they're meant for you. There might just be some little key points that are understandings of, give you a greater understanding of the energies that you might be encountering in others or within yourself during this time. So take what you want, leave what you don't want. Don't take anything at all. It's completely up to you. So this is for Taurus, and you know, I'm late out the gate. I'm just finding my feet here on YouTube with this channel. So you know, take it as you will. Maybe the last 2 weeks of January or into February, just keep them in mind, keep the pointers in mind. And again, if they resonate with you, then hopefully they'll help guide you on your path and with your journey. Give you a little bit of a heads up as to what's coming your way, or what you might have to deal with within yourself. So for Taurus, what's been going on in the recent past for Taurus? Too many. What's going on, Taurus? So, what's been going on in the recent past for Taurus? What's been going on in the recent past for Taurus? Going on the higher self of all Taurus that would like guidance from my cards. Okay. So it's been quite fast paced, things moving at a faster pace leading up to this present moment. So what's going on in the present moment with the relations regarding Taurus? Quite exciting, quite exhilarating energies around you. Probably new, you've probably waited, felt a bit stalled for quite some time, and then all of a sudden this energy ramps up and you're all of a sudden on the go, that people are coming around you, things are happening around you that you may need to stop and take some note of. But right now it's been fast paced up to this present point for you, Taurus. What's the present moment for Taurus? There's two come out there. And for the future card for Taurus, the future of Taurus relations they have with other people, the energies that are around them. I'm feeling quite not pent up in a bad way, pent up in like this exhilarated, fast-paced Knight of Swords way, ready to go. Like I actually don't want to sit still right now. I want to do the next thing, because I can feel the next thing coming in, wondering what the next thing's going to be. Sometimes it's good to take into account, to bring that into balance. So yes, while you're feeling this fast-paced energy, you know, this heart-pounding energy around you and within the people who are coming around you, to not go so fast that you can't pick up on things that you should be picking up on, pointers that you should be understanding or taking heed of with certain energies. So, you know, just to breathe through it, have this nice energetic feeling. I like this feeling. I get lots of done when I feel this way. I get lots of things done. But you know, it can make you slip up sometimes, because you can miss things that you shouldn't have missed, and you can jump on things that maybe, or people that aren't great for you, aren't so good for you. So there's past lessons to be remembered regarding the relationships you have around you, the relationships that you might be in. So there's past lessons with the Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck here to be aware of. things that you've already learned from, things that you've already expanded, transmuted and grown from. But remember that those lessons, like any scars, are a lasting gift. They're a gift that you can keep measuring this fast-paced Knight of Swords energy with, you know, so that, like I was saying before, you don't jump on people or things that you know you shouldn't be jumping on, that aren't for your greatest good, and you're not going so fast that you miss things that you've already learned in the past leading up to here, to be aware of and take part in, to not be frightened of, because you've grown from that. You've grown from past mistakes with relations. Don't move too fast on people, basically. There's this want and this need to start new relations, get into a new relationship, get into a new partnership, fast. If you're not careful, if you don't measure that in a more balanced way, then you could drive yourself straight into the arms of another lesson that needs to be repeated, another cycle that needs to be repeated, until you can feel this fast-paced energy, get lots of things done in it without being sort of driven into the environment of exactly the same cycle that you've already learned and expanded from, which would be a waste of time. So then we have, for your present moment, we have the 8 of Coins. So there's this drive for you to be a lot about business, to be a lot about reaching your goals, but there's such a rush for this. You feel like you've wasted time in relationships before, Taurus. You feel like you've wasted precious years through these past relations, through these past lessons that you've learned about yourself via relationships with other people. But again, you're sort of on this tipping scale of going back into obsession of, you know, just transferring the things that you should have already learned from and grown from, and forgetting about those precious gifts, those precious lessons that you learned within all of that trauma, or just expansion, in that you grew out of certain relationships, but you were big enough and strong enough to recognize that. So, you know, you're very, there's a lot of tunnel vision going on. And with that tunnel vision, we can miss things that, you know, would be fabulous for us. And also we can make things that aren't so fabulous for us. We can sort of finish the story off in our own heads. We can bend it to our will and sort of picture that this is destiny. This is how it's going to work. This is what it is. That this is it. This is the pinnacle. This is the relationship. And stay very tunnel vision on that, whilst ignoring all of these other golden avenues around you, all of these other golden relationships around you. Also, I'm picking up on not delving into treasure all of these coins. If these were representing the relationships around you, the different attributes that people bring around you, it means you've got a nice strong crowd around you for me. And that because there's such tunnel vision on this one relationship that you've sort of maybe made into something more than it is right now, then you're ignoring all of these other things, so that this is the only concentration, and it's only concentrated on that because that could be a sexual relationship, or that could lead to a marriage, or that could lead to and not sort of taking all of these other relationships into account, and giving them the right amount of gratitude and honor for their own attributes, for the own things that they bring. It's not, don't get that tunnel vision about being in a relationship. I feel that's maybe where some of you might have slipped up before. You know, going back to that sort of obsessive, with the devil here, back to that obsessive tunnel vision where only one person will do, you know, and you're totally just ignoring all of these other options, all of these other avenues with relationships that you've built up through friends, through working circles, through other possible relationships that might balance you out more, that might make you feel more whole. There's a risk here in this present moment of that tunnel vision sending you right back to this Six of Cups to revisit a lesson that maybe hasn't been drilled down quite as much as you thought it had. So there's balance. There's a need for balance. So we've got for the future, we've got the Nine of Wands. And it's that if this reading is resonating with you, and I'm speaking to you, in a particular Taurus or a group of Taurus people, or people who are in relations with Taurus people, there's this feeling of slight disappointment because this tunnel vision that you had for this one relationship, this obsession that you had for this one relationship, you're still clinging on to it, but it's starting to dawn on you that it might not be the one. It might not be you're still at the nearly there moment. You're still at the nearly complete moment when in this present moment here, you really thought very, very quickly into the future you were going to be sorted. This relationship was going to be it. You were going to be tied together. This was the beautiful thing. I feel like it may be that the story's been finished off on the other person's behalf, rather than just accepting these other people for who they are, and what they bring to the table for you, and what you can bring to the table for them, and just being in a state of just be. There's still this charging forward energy, this wanting to bend the situation to your will, and it not quite panning out the way you expected or planned or wanted to bend it to. So I'm going to clarify those a little bit more. So what's this charging forward that's been going on in the past for Taurus? What's this charging forward that's been going on in the past for Taurus? Clarify the Knight of Swords for Taurus. Yeah, there's this lust. There's this real passion, there's this real lust. With that, there's some ignoring going on. There's some ignorance of things that you might be missing within self. The ability to fire your own self up, the ability to source your own passionate energy from within before you go chasing after someone else, would be of real benefit to you, Taurus. Learning about the Kundalini energy, learning about having your circuit working in full, that sort of sexual magic circuit working in full without breaks or stops in it, so that when you do reach that point of wholeness, of that whole circuit, being able to source that sexual energy magic within and drive it around your body with intent, then you'll find that the relationship that you attract in is much more whole. You attract somebody whole back, like attracts like, and you have that balance between the two. And you know, if you can attain that, sparks will fly. Balance. Balance. I love tarot. So number 11, balance. Yeah, you need, before you go chasing after, if you want to take my advice, of course, but before you go chasing after this sort of tunnel vision, this is who I want, this is what I want, this is how I want it to be, go back within. And that might be frustrating, because it's frustrating for any knight that's already set their course and they're going fast, they're galloping fast, you know, but whether you like it or not, you're going to pay off. It's going to pay off much more dividends for you if you can screech that horse to a halt. Don't go any other direction but within. go down on self. You know, find out how to stir those passions and have that whole circuit within self. There's a hurry to get over the past. There's a hurry to get over past relationships here. In that hurry, if that hurry continues, you end up back with the 9 of Rods and ultimately having a much higher chance, a much higher percentage of repeating the same cycles that you've worked so hard recently to get out of. So bringing that balance in, with divine feminine and divine masculine balanced within self, which will attract balance back in. Yeah, and then in the present moment, to clarify the 8 of Coins and the Devil, you know, the 6 of Coins, there's this, what I was saying before, you know, don't just put all of the weight, all of the gratitude on this potential relationship that you say that you're trying to make into what you want. Make sure that you're open to the good relations that you have around you, to the good friends, to the good cousins, brothers, sisters, lovers, partnerships, work partnerships. Make sure that you're not just attentive to one person, one thing, because that's where disappointment might creep in, because then again you're putting your needs on the head. It's like gambling. You're putting it on black, you know, or you're putting it on red to see, and what you need then, that red or that black to pay off for you. You need them to be what you want them to be, to do what you want them to do. And 9 times out of 10, other people have other ideas for their own energy. So then there's the Ace of Swords, this clarity of thought of, yeah, I've done so much work. Fools rush in. I was rushing. I got a little bit obsessed. I got a little bit of tunnel vision going on there, but I've screeched to that halt. I've got the clarity now. I know that there's still work and there's always work to be done within. But right now there's very definite work to be done, as in, and it's fun work. It's exploring self. It's exploring your own sexual magic, your own sexual passions, and how you can drive that circuit, how you can build up that circuit around your own body and make it a full whole circuit that is self-serving. So it's not as if I'm sending you away to say, oh, you need to go and write some lines in the corner, or, you know, go to church, goodness forbid. I'm sending you away, if this resonates with you, to go play with yourself, play in your inner grounds, you know, make yourself whole, feel that energy, that drive. And with that, you know, there's this knowledge that comes in, because again, it's balance. It's the Hierophant, the initiator, you know, that knowledgeable old witch in the forest, giving you the true knowledge of self, the true knowledge of self-empowerment, literally self-empowerment, learning how to plug into your own power source through that knowledge, that deep ancestral knowledge of building your own circuit up, getting your own circuit whole, getting your own divine feminine and divine masculine in balance before you go searching after anybody else. And really, we should all do that. We should all, you know, who are we to expect, you know, that other people make us whole? That's a stupid concept. It's a silly concept, in that, you know, other people have got their own things going on. They've got their own thought patterns going on. They've got their own, that divine feminine, divine masculine needs to be in balance within the 2 of Wands. Also getting in touch with that ancestral knowledge of the need for the light in the dark, you know. Some might say good or bad. I say light or dark. Make sure the roots of your tree are just as expansive and wide as the branches on the top of your tree, so to speak. Otherwise you will topple over, or you will attract things in that aren't balanced, that aren't whole and aren't good for you. Do this inner work and you're onto something pretty damn good. And then transformation. See, there's a new you thought it was all done and dusted. These lessons, this lesson, you know, of past relations, you know, and you thought it was all done and dusted. I've been there. And you feel like, yeah, I can charge forward now. I'm done with that. You know, I've grown so much. That's me. I'm on my path now. Find something to be riding hard towards, you know, with this tunnel vision. But damn, you come to a screeching halt because this intelligent, deep, dark devil comes in and starts to show you the signs of this is obsession creeping in. This is put in energy source outside of self in, put in dominion over self outside of self into somebody else's will or into somebody else's hands, whether they say yes or no. This devil invites you to go deep and dark within and play with yourself, get to know yourself, become whole with self before you go chasing after anything else. And then we have, you know, that lustful energy being drawn down and into balance, grounded with the balance card. And then again, we have the initiator, the Hierophant, basically with his outstretched hands like scales. Look how similar these cards are. Balance, divine feminine, divine masculine. And then again, just to drive that message home a little bit more, getting in touch with the light and dark of self, the not just all light, namaste, namaste, but the dark, the needs, the drives, the passions, and also the divine feminine, divine masculine. Regardless of whether you're male or female, we all have the capacity to have a divine feminine and divine masculine balanced within. That clarity coming in, and even the Six of Coins, the Six of Pentacles coming in again to show that balance, to show that reciprocity, that reflection on things. So it's a great reading, and the Death card, of course, with the biggest transformation on the bottom of the deck there. So it's a big reading, but it's a fun reading if you make it fun. You could make this, Taurus, if this resonates with you, the worst relationship time you've had for a long time, in that you've put so much effort and thought into making this future with this one person, forgetting about all else, including self around you. Or you could take this moment to say, yeah, I like the attributes of that person, but I'm going to put that on hold until I really know who I am, until I really know that I've got my inner scales in balance, and then see what kind of person you attract into your life. The kind of person you'll attract into your life when you're as balanced and as whole as these cards are guiding you to get and be, they'll blow your mind. You won't ever look back. You won't ever want a one-night stand ever again, because nothing will compare. So you've got a real choice, and it's quite an exciting choice if you choose. I would choose the inner path. It's fun. So much love, be balanced and be whole. If you would like a personal reading, all of my details are in the drop box below. I'm trying my hardest to get out there on social media more. Been off that for a while, so I'm getting back into the swing of it and trying to build that up. So I'll put my Facebook details in there as well. It's a new page, so I can fill it up. So wishing you much love. Have fun.